So you're playing your games, you're trying to win as hard as you can, and you're doing whatever it takes to win. I get it, I understand, trust me, I do.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
But here's the thing. A lot of you guys spent the entire season 2 with the same mentality going into it that you are looking to end it. And that's not really generally what we're looking for here. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 things that are going to help your mentality. If you enjoy the content, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe if you're cool with the content. With that being said, let's go on to the first one. So the first one can even be seen not even in the game itself. I've taken you to, what do we call this? We call this your history of games. Why am I here? Because a lot of people end up focusing more on where you are on the ladder, or whether you are platinum, plat 5, whatever, where you're diamond 1, whether you're diamond 4, super close to masters, wherever you are, you're hyper fixated on getting that MR, getting that rank up, whatever is going on. But what I'm here to say is, number one, you need to stop focusing so much on how much you actually gain. What ends up happening is that you focus so much on trying to win that you stop trying to learn, and then you develop bad habits because you're trying to win. That's how a lot of people, especially around my rank here, they have a lot of gimmicks going on. And the reason why I call them gimmicks is because they're technically not very good strategies, but it's strategies they rely on just simply off the merit that it is readily and available, and it catches people off guard thus far, right? So one thing that we have to start using is that when you lose, you add it to your thing here and you go into the replay mode and you watch your gameplay, right? What could you have done better? This is something that gets overlooked, and I'm not, yes, you can say, oh, well, I already knew that, but brother, you're not using it. If you did use it, you would be better, but you're not, right? This is the reality of the matter. A lot of people end up spending a lot of time hyper focused on, let me just win whatever means possible. There's tech that's there, that's available, right? For instance, like a situation like this, right? Granted, you could think this is just a situation I can't do anything about, but if I'm ready for it, if I know it's coming, I'm able to get something off of it. I'm like, okay, this is an option that they showed me this time. So what am I gonna do about it? Instead of just trying to deal with it by blocking it, I'm gonna try and parry. And if I'm successful on the parry, I get the punish. These are the small things that you can start implementing in your game to help you improve, right? You don't add these things, you don't learn, you get put in these situations, you don't gain anything, and you don't put any extra value into your gameplay. In this example here, I am the Akuma player, right? And a thing that happens so often is while you're in a situation, especially where your health is getting a little bit lower, you know, you're in a situation now where if you guess incorrectly, you'll die, right? A lot of you end up doing this. So in this example here, right, we're in a situation where our health is looking a little bit low, right? And it's a situation where he makes you block something. So this is something that I see all too often, and way too often, especially after year 2. Right? A lot of us immediately want to try and tech the situation. If you keep things real, notice how they're blocking, right? This is what we call delay tech. People take advantage of it all the time. What we need to start doing is adding a little bit more pizzazz to it, right? Punishing their attempted delay tech. But that's not what I'm here to talk about specifically. What I'm here to talk about is it's okay to eat the throw. A lot of you guys, anytime you're in a situation where you have to block, you're not eating the throw. Instead of just simply eating the throw and not dying, you just choose to die, right? You just die. And this is not even technically like the most maximum damage combo on Akuma, but you just die off of it, right? It's a decision that, especially when you're in round 3, a decision where you do have, say, 50, let's even go as far as 55% health, right? Off a decision like that, you can very well die just because you went for an option like this. Let's suppose we're in this situation here and we just decided to take the throw outright. We take the throw outright. Okay, we took a throw. We didn't die, right? Granted, you'll still have to deal with the same situation again, right? With them trying to drive rush again off of the instance. But at the very least, you didn't die off of this engagement. That's why taking the throw is okay to do. It was long-winded, but we got there. Taking the throw is okay to do because, especially when it comes to mid-screen, you know, some characters do have a backdash punish to this, but the thing is that it's better off just, okay, take the throw, whatever. If they drive rush recklessly at you, you can use your reversal options, right? Especially if you have an EXDP available. You can use different options. Don't be so quick to rip. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about here, it's a umbrella term, and this is just looking for habits. You guys don't look for habits nearly enough when I'm watching your replays. What's an instance, okay? Opponent's doing this, okay? Throwing this occasionally, but just doing this. What's the habit? I'll give you 5 seconds. You don't know. I know you don't know, right? The reality is, what he's doing here gets his feet caught. But if you're not paying attention to the fact that his feet is vulnerable, you wouldn't even notice it unless I pointed it out to you. Then, once your opponent is either A, standing pretty far ways from you, you can go for a sweep option, knock them down, go for a situation where you're plus, and then put them in a guessing situation, right? This is all off of the simple decision to watch a person's feet while you're playing, right? This also plays into when you drive rush, right? If you drive rush, sometimes it's good to use the low, because if you don't know if your opponent's blocking their feet, you can take advantage of it. But these are things that we're not taking advantage of, right? The other thing that can also be under this umbrella is if your opponent is playing this game here, right? Now he's crouch blocking, right? But what is he also not doing, right? He's not pressing anything. What else is he not doing? He's not anti-airing. So if you notice that you jump on your opponent and he's got anti-airs, then alright, cool. We'll slow down on the anti-airs, on the jumping, right? But if your opponent doesn't have anti-airs, then why are we trying so hard to play neutral with him? We're like, oh, I'm gonna play neutral with him. I swear it's gonna be good. Like, you know, we're gonna play the back and forth, and up until he just decides to rip a Jinrai or something, and just, you know, goes for it, right? After that, now you're in a situation, or he just goes for drive rush, or he goes for EX fireball into drive rush, whatever option, right? Keep in mind what your opponent is doing, how we can take care of his offense. Another instance, very simple instance, is that you'll keep going for pressure. You'll keep thinking, all right, okay, knock them down, cool. What are we about to do? Let's go for pressure again. Immediately afterwards, you just get hit, right? The reason why you're getting hit is because after a situation, you're not gauging what he can and can't do. You're always trying to go for offense immediately afterwards, right? If you're able to assess this and take advantage of it, now we're in a much better situation than we were before. But because we're not doing that, it just leaves us in a worse situation, and it gives your opponent more room to take advantage of you, right? And the other is true. Sometimes your opponent, when they go for offense, sometimes they're going to be smart, right? Sometimes they're going to constantly expect you to try and go for an option. So sometimes what they'll end up doing is that they'll simply wait for you to bait them and then go for a punish, right? They'll simply just go for an option because they think that, okay, he's just going to go for an option. Now you get low for a drive rush, you're in a bad situation, you get side switch, blah, 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 blah. right? You don't want to be in that situation. So gather the habits, right? Is he constantly going for a low forward or a match situation, right? If he's constantly going for a match situation, sometimes it's okay to simply just pressure your opponent, right? Anyways, I hope this enlightens your eyes a little bit more to things that you should be doing in before we get to season 3. With that being said, any questions?